So good morning. This one is going to be about balance and doing a very deep relax. So bring yourself to your excuse me, mat, wherever you are, and have a cushion handy. We're going to use this more at the end, unless I suddenly feel inspired to add it in the middle. So bring yourself to your comfortable seated position. So when we talk about balance in yoga, in our yoga practice, one of the elements that we absolutely have to balance is breath. And the breath controls a lot of ways of balancing the entire body. So from the inside. So we might be doing things physically outside, but we're going to be balancing everything and just restoring some calm by using our breath consciously. So sit comfortably. Notice where your sit bones are. Good morning, good morning. And start to really inhabit your space. Maybe close your eyes, or if you'd prefer to look around you, just noticing where you are. And then slowly bringing your attention closer in until you get to yourself. And notice the quality of the air around you, what the energy feels like. And sit bones dropping down into the floor. Legs are relaxed but strong. And then you start to stack the spine up, all the way up to the crown of your head. Yes, I know the spine doesn't extend through the back of your skull, but just notice your atlas axis point where your skull rests on your, or is supported by your skeleton, your spine. Too many S words. And then I'd like you to lean back a little. So if you can, if you feel safe, leaning back, noticing the change in pressure on your sit bones, keeping your back absolutely straight. So we're not rounding the back here. Don't move the back. Just tilt using your core. And go back until you can't really feel that pressure on your sit bones anymore. Or it feels entirely different, one or the other. Hold that. Notice the tension in your thighs. Notice the tension in the front of your core, the sides, in the back. And then a tiny little tweak of lifting the sternum a little higher. And then coming back. Very slowly, come back to where you feel centered. And then let's drop chin to chest. Try to make this a deep stretch. Consciously pulling your forehead down towards your ankles. Relaxing your shoulders. Don't allow any tension to creep into your shoulders or your hands or your arms. They should be completely at rest here. Tilting even further, taking the chin right into the chest. And just noticing how that feels in your back. How it feels as you stretch the skin, the top of your back. How it feels inside. And then coming back to center. We're going to lift the chin. So we're going all the way, taking the chin up towards the ceiling. So a lovely big stretch in the front of the throat and neck. Again, still making sure that you've got no tension in your shoulders and your arms and your hands. Right, send that lovely chin up towards the ceiling. You almost look like a kind of grimace. It's going to make me cough, sorry. So nice big stretch. Putting your bottom row of teeth perhaps above your top row and releasing when you need to. It's such a strong stretch. You need to come out of that and then go back in and then go out and back in and out and back in. And then gently, gently, with strength, coming back to center. Now we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder. And this one, you need to make sure that your shoulders aren't doing anything. It's quite difficult to isolate. See if you can only move your head and neck here, nothing else. Hopefully you can retain your balance still quite easily. Head's not that heavy, only about, can't remember how heavy our heads are. It's the brain that's 7 pounds, isn't it? So add on a bit for skull. And just allow that beautiful stretch to happen all the way from around your left ear, down the side of your neck, and into that shoulder. Be gentle, go where it works for you. If you've got something going on with your back, or maybe your shoulders or your neck, this looks like a nothing stretch. It can be really deep and very releasing. Just let the weight of your head do that stretch for you. And hopefully you're feeling it all across the top here. All those muscles and tendons and ligaments having a nice little wake up. And then let's come back to center. And of course, over to the other side. Get to where you're going, isolating the shoulders out of this. And then bringing the head over to the left. Enjoying a nice stretch of the right. And just notice, is one side different for you? Does it feel more intense? Does it feel easier? Just noticing, and all the time trying to keep most of your spine upright and erect. Excuse me. And remembering to breathe as well. So just warming up the neck, then we're going to do our breath work. Maybe you'd like to think of your Sankalpa, your intention for your practice for today. We're going to be doing some balance and some nice deep reset and opening postures. And then coming back to center. And with everything in yoga, you must listen to your body first and your guide second. So hands to the floor, and we're just sliding away and allowing the spine to come into a little bit of a relax. Drop the head. Reach your arms forward. So we've got a little bit of stretch under the arms and a lovely heavy head and a softly rounded back. Breathing in now deeply through your nostrils, out either through your mouth or your nostrils, up to you. Really filling up with breath in this posture where we're quite restricted, we're quite cramped almost in the body, in the front, in the lungs, but breathing in deeply and out. Noticing your whole torso move with each breath. And then coming back up to center. Okay, we're going to change the cross of the legs because we're going to be moving into a little bit of breath work. We're going to come into our beautiful balanced breath, Nadi Shodhana. And the nadis are the streams and rivers running through the body energetically, also your whole circulatory system. It's like a branch network of little streams and rivers, big rivers. And everything needs to be clear, everything needs to be flowing. And our right side and our left side alternate through the day in our strength and our focus. So with Nadi Shodhana, we are opening up the entire body and bringing balance. So first 2 fingers of your dominant hand, just fold over so that you have your ring finger handy. Don't worry, it's a very awkward bend, isn't it? And your thumb. And there you go, alternately moving on the left and the right side. So we'll start blocking off the left side. Make sure that your shoulders are relaxed, your left arm or your non-dominant arm is either just in your lap or on your knee. Ready? Crown of the head lifted up, keep your mouth closed gently throughout this entire sequence of breath work. And let's breathe in together. Inhale. And switch, exhale. Inhale. 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 You'll notice that it's much harder breathing in and out through one side than the other. Switch, exhale, possibly, maybe not. Maybe they're both the same for you. Still exhaling and inhale. Switch, exhale. Inhale. Switch, exhale. This is our last round of breath together, and then you'll continue at your own pace. Don't panic, don't worry. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And I exhale, but to your own pace now. I won't count anymore. Start to make the breath more forceful. Last round. And bring your hands to rest on your laps. Close your eyes. Breathing in and out through your nostrils only. Take 3 breaths here. Making each as slow and deep as possible for you. Last exhale. Well done. Just continue to breathe as you wish, normally, naturally. Let's take the legs wide and let's start to move a little. We're going to be doing a little bit with toes today, just in terms of our balance. So let's give them a chance to warm up here. Bring the toes firmly in towards your torso. So sending your heels away. Don't worry if your heel comes off the floor because you've got really muscly calves. Pull those toes in towards you as tightly as you can. At the same time, we're trying to keep the torso nice and upright, shoulders wide, broad. Maybe take your hands down to the floor either side of you and set your sankalpa, your intention for your practice for today. Still keeping those toes really firmly pulling back towards your knees. And relax, send them away. Point your toes as firmly away as you can. And then allow them to come to a nice neutral position. And we'll do a few circles. Now, if you feel uncomfortable doing your circles, foot circles with your legs wide, take them together, otherwise carry on. So we're going to go one way and then the other. One way, then the other. Ah, there we go. How's that feel in your ankles? Are you doing really big circles? How does that feel in your calves? Can you feel it? Hopefully you can. And before I wear a hole in the carpet here, let's come to a stop. A little bit of a side bend. So let's send the right arm down the right leg. This cushion is in the way. Right, so right arm down the right leg. Now you might find that you've got a little bit more give here, a little bit more stretch. I'd like you to go to your furthest most point for your legs. So former gymnasts, wake those muscles up. We need them to relax, don't we? And we're sliding down. So you might already be here. I realized I wasn't quite pushing my legs out as far as they could go, so I'll have to stop for that one. Now shoulders are stacked, so do not bring that left shoulder forward. It might want to curve forward. We're keeping the chest open. So keeping the chest open, reaching over the right hand to right foot, maybe even lying that forearm down onto your shin if you can. And then we have that little bit of a stretch going on here in the left hip and the left side of the body. But I'd like you to try and keep both sit bones firmly on the ground. So it doesn't have to be a big movement. Somebody with a big movement might have a little floating sit bone going on there. So we want the small movement with the anchored sit bones and the shoulders stacked. If you feel like it, you can bring that top arm up. It makes a beautiful shape. Also helps to keep the shoulders stacked. And then lift up with that left hand. So if you can touch the ceiling, getting a bit of a opening up under the arm and into the top half of the ribs, not just the bottom half. And breathe. Okay, so if you can relax your legs now, relax that right arm, take any tension out of your right shoulder, and still keep lifting with the left. Lovely, and then we're going to lift up. So somebody's going to grab your hand and lift you up a little to come out. So long in the side of that left body. Only one body, just one left side. And then we come over to the left. So left arm onto the left leg, keeping the torso straight, so not twisting around to the front. You'll feel that in your spine when you twist. I want you to be open, so that right shoulder almost comes back a little, exaggerate. And then we're going to slide a little further. Find that nice stretch in the lower part here, in your hip, in your waist, lower ribs. Still keeping that shoulder up. And then taking the right arm up. There we are, in our lovely side bend. Opening up the right side of the body under the arm, stretching your arm up. So you should be feeling that in that right shoulder as you stretch up, and at the same time sending that right sit bone firmly into the mat. Squeezing into the left side. Can you scrunch up the muscles around the left side of your ribs and just below? Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And that will give you a little bit more lean, a little bit more room. Reaching up, nice strong hand. Feel the tension in your fingers and the palm of your hand. Just squeeze all those muscles. And remember to breathe. Nice, deep, slow breaths in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. And let's come out slowly. So we're going to reach up and then come out. Oh, lovely. All right, so now I feel like we need a little bit more of a twist. So we're going to take the left hand to the right leg. Don't worry if it doesn't feel like you get a lot of movement here. It's much harder with the legs so wide, but we want to keep upright, so don't fold forward. And then the right arm comes out behind, finds the floor, and then we're going to twist into that space behind. Use your arms to pivot you around, looking behind you. And don't forget to bring your eyes into this as well. So looking around as far to the right as you can. So you're just trying to catch a glimpse of something that's just by your right ear. Neck is long. Try not to dip your head forward to keep your crown of your head up towards the ceiling. If you take a nice deep breath in and you exhale, you might find you have a little bit more movement with the out breath. Twisting around, think about that lovely twist all the way down your spine. Don't forget the eyes, and then release your eyes first, then head, then arms, and slowly come back as if you are uncoiling rather than unspringing. So nice, slow, intentional move back. Settle for a moment, and then we're going to take the right hand to the left leg. You're either popping it on the outside, just upon your thigh, or maybe on the knee, but I want you to try and keep upright. So it might be that your hand is quite close to your body. And then we're going to keep the shoulders wide, open that left arm out behind and drop it down. Find the floor, and pushing into the floor will help give you a little bit more length in your spine, and it will help you take the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And then over, looking over your left shoulder, remembering to bring your eyes into this here. And this is a lovely posture if you've got something muscular going on in your back or your neck or your shoulders. Gently opening everything up and easing in and feeling where the discomfort is, moving into that discomfort, just pushing against it very gently. Obviously, depending on what stage you're at, if you're in a healing stage or if you're still very inflamed, you need to perhaps take it very easy. You'll know, listen to your body and do what works for you. It is beautiful out there this morning. Frosty, frosty, frosty. And we're going to release with the eyes, with the head, and then come back to center. Gently uncoiling and feet in. Let's come into Baddha Konasana. That'll feel much, probably something of a relief on the undersides of your knees if you've been really stretching your legs out. And then have a little wiggle, lean forward, hold on to your toes, and gently pull forward. Let's continue the stretch, but in a different way. In the inner groin, upper thigh. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders, relax your head, neck, jaw, and leaning forward. When you get to the point where the muscles give a little, then move a little. Using your breath, inhaling to come away, exhaling to put that pressure back on a little. And then we're coming up from here into standing. So we're going to go via a squat. So come into your squat. Let's wake up the ankles a little here. All that sitting, we need to be moving now. So we're going to do some interesting challenges for the feet and some sense of balance here. And remember, when you're in a balanced pose, if you feel that this is something you've done loads of times and you're really comfortable, you can always gently close your eyes and see how different that might feel for you. I would say if you are going to do that, then make sure you have a countertop or a little bit of wall just handy in case you need it. So in your squat, you might be up on heels. If you are, try to rock down. So we're pushing the heels down and coming up. So move within that range of movement that you have, up and down. If you're flat-footed here, then you're going to be taking your knees forward and backwards. Just a small movement and feeling it in these ever tightening tendons here, right in the top of the foot. So you're either bobbing up and down very gently or you're rocking backwards and forwards. If you can do both, then try both. Usually we can do kind of, well, especially if you're flat-footed in a squat, you can usually come up onto toes. But this is a really great posture to try when you're trying to stretch out the backs of your calves and the backs of your Achilles. Well, Achilles are at the back, in preparation for downward facing dog. So speaking of which, we're now going to come into downward facing dog. So bringing your hands forward, lifting up into the sky, and bringing yourself into your downward facing dog. So our first one of today, remember to really push the floor away with your hands, and that's the whole of your hands, including your fingertips, your knuckles. Widen your shoulders and strong in your shoulders as well. Head and neck completely relaxed. Let go of any tension there. Should just be gently hanging at rest. Sending your sit bones up towards the sky. Lengthening through the backs of your legs. Long, long legs. And breathing, of course, slowly and deeply and evenly. The sound hasn't gone, we're just holding in down dog for a little while. And then we're going to pivot forward into our plank. We're coming into plank. Feel how strong your elbows are here, how strong your wrists are and your shoulders. And again, pushing into your hands, raising your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, squeezing into your glutes, externally rotating the thighs a little, head and neck in line with your spine. And then we're coming up into downward facing dog again. Find your posture, find where you need to be, taking that very focused attention around your body. Noticing what everything's doing, whether it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And then looking forward to your hands again. This time sending the feet back and coming into upward facing dog. So upward facing dog, we haven't got our thighs touching the floor. We're bringing our body forward, shoulders are back, knit your shoulder blades together, squeeze into your glutes, And then we're going to take the tops of the feet to the floor. And again, still keeping the thighs off, hips off. Everything's in the arms, the shoulders, and the chest. And then we're coming down to the mat. Oops, make sure I have enough space. Down to the mat, bring yourself into Makara, come into a little bit of a rest. Well done. Well done. Very strong on arms there. A lot going on. Just allow yourself to flop here and rest. Making sure that the back of your neck is completely at ease. And we're going to come back up into a lovely Balasana now. So bringing yourself into Balasana. Let's ease out the lower back. I shouldn't have worn this ridiculous top. And folding forward, head to the mat. So I hope you'll agree now. I think we've got a very lovely warmed up spine. So we can bring our attention to our legs. Having looked at shoulders, spine, core, head and neck and arms. We're going to be doing quite a bit of balance work with our legs. So coming all the way up, hands down, tuck your toes under, bringing yourself up into a downward facing dog very briefly. And then we're going to walk the hands forward or walk the feet, wherever you are, into an easy forward bend. So Uttanasana, easy forward bend. Noticing the backs of the legs here. Allowing your shoulders to be heavy, to be completely at rest. Just nice and long in the backs of the legs. And then we're rolling up. A little bit of a bend in the knee, not locking the legs. All the way up. Beautiful. Okay, so Vrikshasana, tree. Classic balance pose. When you say yoga balance, it'll be often the first thing that people think of. So tree, we want to be really strong, we want to be rooted into the ground. So that standing leg, the left leg, absolutely solid onto the floor. As much of the sole of your foot just pressing down, make your foot wide, broad, and completely stable and steady. And then we're pushing the right heel into the side of the shin, calf. What's the side bit called? Anyway, that bit down there. Pressing the heel in, taking the knee out to the side, and not allowing the hips to go off on a little journey following the knee, but bring them back, and they are steady. They don't get to move anywhere because they're keeping everything nice and steady and stable. So if this doesn't feel like much, I would suggest that maybe you try and move that knee back a little more. You should feel a real pinch in the right hip here. A good pinch, but a real pinch, not a fake pinch. And chest is high, shoulder blades together, neck is long, and of course you're breathing in through your nostrils and out through your mouth, and you're making each breath as deep and as slow as possible. And then if you're happy, stay here. If you'd like to try something different and it works for you, foot off, and we're coming to the lower leg, not on the knee. So if you can feel any bones in your knee, then you're too high up. Take that heel a little lower. And still trying to take that knee out behind you so that you feel it in your hip. And then either stay here or go back to first version, or we're coming up into a nice tight connection right up high, squeezing the muscles on your standing leg. So make your thighs solid by squeezing all those muscles. Oh, can't talk and balance at the same time today. And that knee, of course, continues to go back out to the side. And then, of course, you can do what you like with your arms. If you wish to take them out to the sides to balance, or you would like to take them up for fun, or you simply like to bring them to heart center, the real balance pose of you connecting your left side with your right. Just check if you're leaning forward, and if you are, maybe squeeze your glutes a little to bring yourself upright and lengthen, so you've got some length in the front of your body. And breathing in through your nostrils. Well done with this lovely balance. Now we're going to grab hold of that not standing leg, the other one, the bent leg, the right one, by the knee, just under the knee. Nice soft hold, and then bringing that thigh into your chest, lifting up as high as you can. Still balancing. Now, if you want a real challenge, you can try to come up onto toes on this standing leg. Not very much, but just off the mat. And then bringing your right leg down. A little more elegantly than I just did. So we're going to come onto the right leg now. Left leg gets a little bit of a rest. Give it a bit of a kick if you need to. Right leg, again, making the sole of your foot as broad as you can. Flattening, pushing down into the mat, finding your firm, steady, balanced connection with the ground. And then we're going to be moving up from there. Throughout this asana, not locking the knee, a little bit of a bend in the knee. You'll feel it. And then taking the left leg in, nice firm press into spleen point on the side of your leg. Check that your hips are aligned, so you're not sending your bottom out behind you or tucking your hips too far under. Just a nice neutral hip here, or hips, and shoulders relaxed. Lengthen the front of the body. Well done. This is an acupressure point, it's your spleen. So go ahead, have a lovely push on that. Wake your spleen up and just send it some love. And then we're sliding up again, not locking that standing leg. Does make it harder, but that's great, isn't it? That's what we want. And you squeeze left glute a little more. Draw your left knee out to the side a little more. Are you breathing in and out through your nostrils? Or at least in. Find your fixed gaze point, and then let's come up. With disobedient leggings. Right up into the top of the leg. Making the muscles in your standing leg strong as possible. Oh, I'm falling over. Cannot hold that today. There we go. And then a chance to play. Opening the chest. If you come out, you just come back in. And then we're going to be finding that left leg. Gently bringing it into the body. And then a little add-on up onto toes. Just taking the heel off. And then coming down to the mat. I hope you had more success with that one than I did. Pretty hard, I think. And then let's take the legs wide here. Let's come into a bit of a rest first in Prasarita Padottanasana. Take any tension off the lower back. So just sliding the arms down the legs, a lovely easy forward bend with wide legs. Prasarita Padottanasana, right hand to right foot, left hand to left foot. And then let go of any tension in the back of your head. Close your eyes. Let's just enjoy this inversion here with that feeling of changing your pressure in the head, neck, the face. Close your eyes, turn it into a balanced posture. And then we're uncurling. So head and neck will come up last, uncurling all the way up. And then we're coming up onto toes, but we're going to take the knees down first. So try not to lean forward here. It might be our natural inclination. We want to stay upright as much as possible. And I'm going to slip like Billy O on this kikoi. So my mats are in the car and I was too lazy to go and get them. So we're going to go up on toes on the left side and then down. Up on toes on the right side and then down. Slow, controlled movement up and down. Don't snap it up and down, nice and slow. Okay, both now. So a little bit of balance, but also quite a lot of strength here. So we're up on toes, sink down a little lower if you need a bit more of a challenge, and take your knees out a little wider. Ditto again, keeping the body upright. Strong, 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 and release. Yeah, forward. I don't know about you, but I could really feel that. Head low. Again, changing up gravity situation in our heads, all of our heads. Just leaning forward in an easy forward bend, but with wide legs. Well done. Now let's uncurl, slowly coming up. So we're going to come into a little bit of warrior 3. Now we very often have warrior 1 and warrior 2. We very rarely come into a warrior 3. Why? Because actually it's quite an unsatisfying pose for many people if you feel like you can't do it. But that's actually wrong. I should probably just add it in. So we're going to be doing the standing leg as our right leg. And then we're just taking the left leg out behind. So just release the left leg. Bring it onto toes. And then we're going to pivot at the hips. So as you lean forward, allow that back leg to come off. And now you can go as far as you like. Let's keep that standing leg with a little bend in it. Tiny, tiny bend. Or if I'm really crafty here, I can hold on to the curtains with my toes. So folding forward. I've got my hands on my hips because what tends to happen here is the left hip will want to flare up and out. And actually, it's much harder to keep them level, and I want to keep them level here. You can then take your hands down to the floor, if that works for you, or stay where you were. Of course, taking your hands to the floor means that it's very much easier. So let's come back out of here, nice and slow. A lot of work on that standing leg. Well done. We come back and let's swap legs. So taking the left leg in Right leg just slides out behind, resting on your toes. And then we're going to do the same thing again. So find a fixed point to stare at. Remember to not lock that standing leg, please. There we go. And trying not to pivot the hips. Remember to breathe through your nostrils. And then nice. Move down to the ground if you wish. So an add-on to this would be to come down to the ground with your hands, a bit more elegantly than that. And then take the left hand down, slide the right hip over the left, and take the right arm up to the sky. We're not going to do that today, so don't know why I showed you. If you want to play with it at home, that's your next step. Ooh, and then coming back out. My leg is very tired. Ay, 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 ay. Let's come down into a squat. Yes, nice squat. And rounding in the back here. Did a lot in lower back. So just round, drop your head, your chin, head, your chin. Drop your head, chin to chest. When punctuation goes wrong verbally. Just curled into a nice, easy squat, or a difficult squat, depending on whether squat's easy or difficult for you. And breathing. Well done. Okay, last balance pose, and this is a silly one, but fun. So we're taking, and you've done this before, we're in our squat, taking your torso over your right thigh. So just in the center of your chest, holding on or taking your hands to the floor, or hold on with one and hand to the floor, whichever is easiest for you. So left leg is going out to the side. Now I find it much easier being up on toes for this asana. And I also think I find it easier having my hands on the floor. Now we're going to lift that left leg up and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it in, sliding over, taking the right leg out. Are you ready? I'm going to do it differently this side. And right leg up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back to center, taking your legs wide, and we're going to slide over from one side to the other. Okay, so go to however works for you. Either you're just low and you're sliding low and you're keeping your feet close to the ground, or you're making it a bit more of a dramatic move by pushing down into that right leg, taking your toes up towards the ceiling, and then coming over to the other side. We're just staying low, stretching out the legs a little after all that lovely hard work they've been doing. There we go. And then coming to center, bring yourself down to the ground, bring yourself back into an easy cross leg pose for a moment, changing the cross. Again, another little lean forward, and then bringing your legs out in front of you. So we're just going to ease off the lower back after all that strength and balance work. We can hold a lot of tension around the middle. So Paschimottanasana, west facing pose, slowly sliding your hands down your legs. With each breath, inhaling to come up, exhaling to fold forward. If it's appropriate for you, using your arms and your hands to draw yourself forward. If it's more helpful than just allowing your body weight to do the stretch for you. Coming all the way up. Well done. Let's come down to lying on the mat. Make sure you've got your cushion handy, or your pillow, or your rolled up shawl. It also works, anything. And then we're going to come off. So we're going to balance, little lovely balance. Such a nice way to finish, with a little bit of a balance. And then we're going to make that balance a little more than a little balance. So taking the arms off. Then we're going to take the legs out and wide. Okay, so legs are wide, arms are wide. If you're holding a giant ball, up with your hands and your feet. Well done. And then lowering down and then sliding back. Come to resting on your back, on your mat. Well done. Good practice, everybody. Let's take the knees up towards the ceiling, feet flat to the floor. Bring your knees in for a hug. Give yourself a hug. This is the most important bit. Give yourself a hug. All day. Every now and again, give yourself a hug. Whether that's making yourself a cup of tea, whether that's remembering to sit down and just do nothing for 3 minutes, whether it's putting in time for a little bit of meditation, going for a walk, whatever the things are that make you happy. They're your hugs. Do lots through the day. Kind of one every half an hour is about right, I think. For me, anyway. So squeezing those knees in, bringing your chin to your chest, your forehead to your knees, curling around into a little ball. And then relaxing. We're going to come into our twist. Arms out to the side, knees either into the chest or feet flat to the floor. Either way, taking them over to the side, keeping your shoulders pinned to the mat. No shoulder movement here. When your legs are settled, moving your head in the opposite direction. Nice and firm. Easy but gentle, but firm, but effective, but all sorts of different things. Twist of the spine. Back to where we started. We started with being very gently in sync with our spines, moving and twisting and bending. And here we'll finish. So head back to center, knees back to center, and then over to the other side. And if at any point in your day you just feel a little bit unbalanced, try just standing on your left leg, holding your right foot up behind you, bending the knee, and then balancing and taking 3 deep, steady breaths. And then switching and doing the same on the other side, and 3 steady breaths. Head back to center now. Bringing your knees into center. One last hug. Go on, give yourself a hug. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Okay, and then we're going to come into our Shavasana, but today we're going to pop our little cushion or our rolled up shawl just around the bra strap line. So just at the top of your back, so that your head is not on it. Your head comes off, and there's enough there that can help you open up your chest. So we're sending the sternum up, sending the shoulders quite wide. So try not to have it supporting your shoulders as well. It really wants to be kind of in the middle of your back. So a rolled up shawl is a pretty good solution. And if you've got a pillow, then you want to have it lengthways, not widthways, if that makes sense. So we've got that nice arch in the back. We've got that lovely stretch across the front of the chest. Take your arms quite wide. And let go, relax. Close your eyes. And the point of being in this position is not to be uncomfortable. So if you are uncomfortable, if that doesn't work for you, then adjust, change, do what you need to do. And that might even be taking that cushion out altogether. Just depends on what's appropriate for you for today. So close your eyes, find your comfort. And release. Take your attention to the whole of your chest. Feel that you have length between your sternum and your pubic bone. Feel that you have length between your sternum and that little dip, the base of your neck, throat. Feel that you have space between your collarbones. Feel that your ribs are gently opening, flaring out to the sides. As you take a deep breath in, noticing how that feels. And as you breathe out, breathing out every single last bit of breath in the body. Deep, steady breaths in and out. Relaxing your legs, feeling that they're heavy, soft. Relaxing your arms. Feel that they're melting into the mat. As you breathe in, you're breathing in the breath right down to your toes, to your fingertips, to your entire body, to the crown of your head, to the whole of your back, the whole of the front of your body. As you breathe out, letting go of any heaviness, any weight you've been carrying. As you breathe in, feeling connected to everything and everyone. As you breathe out, relaxing, knowing that everything passes, everything has its time, and all is good. Breathing in light and warmth and energy and space. And as you breathe out, letting go. Feeling a deep sense of connection with every in and out breath, with the ground below you, the earth below you. And the sky and the air above you. On your next in-breath, gently coming to rest on your right side. On your next in-breath, gently bringing yourself up to sitting. On your next in breath, taking your hands to heart center. On your next in breath, gently dropping your head. On your next in breath, opening your eyes. And gently bringing your head back up. And namaste. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining you on your mat in your practice for today. And I hope you have a gorgeous day.